Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to the Eazy-Austin Show, starring your host, Eazy-Austin. Oh my goodness, it is July already. I feel like time is just passing by way too quickly because it feels like January was yesterday. Like, I remember the new year very, very vividly. And only because of it was the start of a new year, and it was going to be the first year without my uncle. I'm not sure I was ready to talk about it beforehand, but I know some time has passed and his birthday's actually coming up, so I feel like I'm ready to talk about it now. Um on December 16th, 2023, I was working a very rainy day actually on I think it was a Saturday. Let me actually check what day it was. Cuz honestly, I will never forget when it happened. Yes, it was a Saturday. Okay. So, it was a Saturday, December 16th, 2023. Actually, earlier that day, I got wear and tear on my front right tire because the treading on it was like wearing off. There was a lot of wear and tear on that tire. And I felt that tire was about to, you know, wear off, and there was just so much wear on it that it was just like treading, and it was scraping up against the asphalt. So, I remember this is really bad, and I usually leave about 2 hours before my shift starts, because I know they say like just in case like anything happens. I'm still glad I left early at that time because of stuff like that. In case something happens, I might still have time to get to work on time. Like if I leave early and something happens, I buy myself time every day to, you know, just in case something happens. And even if even if I leave 2 hours early and I get there maybe like an hour before, I still have like time to rest and like conserve my energy before I, run around and do my job for the rest of the day. Um but anyways, that's just backstory. So that day just happened. I just had to get a worn out tire. It wasn't a flat, it was just a worn out tire, but consequences were the same. I had to put on, luckily I had a spare. My dad came over to help me change the tire, or actually he just told me, "Hey, take the other car that he took," and then he drove that one home. And so I made it to work in his car, and still I made it early. Like it wasn't even my time. I probably made it still like maybe 45 minutes early. Um which which is why like nobody understands like how that happened. But again, that's all backstory. So it was a rainy day. It was around the time of like Jollywood nights, and so I was working the regular shift, and there were a couple of seaters and servers that were working that same shift, and then later, like around 12 to 1 o'clock, they would be working Jollywood. So I was the regular, and there were a couple other regular seaters from other parts of Hollywood studios that came to do a Brown Derby shift, and I was like, okay, works fine, works well enough. Um, and everything was fine. I was like, okay, I made it to work on time. I'm still like thinking about like I might have to change the tire, I might have to do this, I might have to do that. Everything's gonna be like, we're gonna have to fix everything. I'm gonna have to help dad do all the stuff. And but I try not to think too much of it. I remember I was just still doing my job. I was like, okay, I calmed down. I was able to just focus on doing my job and talking to the guests and talking about how their time at Disney is, and their vacation, and if they're annual pass holders, all that good stuff. Like talking to guests regularly, and everyone was in good spirits. Like it was close to Christmas, and it is quote unquote the most wonderful time of the year. Um, then my break comes. Okay, so my break was like at about 3:30. I think I worked a 12 to 8:15 shift. Um, but I believe it was slow that day because for whatever reason, I think people just wanted to do the very, very late Jollywood shift. Well, not the shift, it's just that the guests wanted to rather have like the Jollywood shift at that time. And I think that's why it was slow on the regular day, on regular park operating hours. So I was like, okay. My break comes, it's about 3:30, I think it was. And I got a call from my mom. Now, my mom usually never ever calls. We usually text. I'm like, hey, I'm on break. Hey, I made it to work. Stuff like that. I usually always text her to make sure, like, hey, I'm here. I'm there. That's what I always do. Always, 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 no matter where I'm at. Because you never know. But tonight, or that night, she called. And I'm like, oh no, did something happen with her? That's what I initially thought. I'm like, oh no, something happened with her car again. She's like, maybe she's leaving early. Maybe something happened at work, or like the car won't start. That's what I was thinking. But little did I know the shocking news that I would get when she called. I saw she called. I picked up the phone, and she was like, "Hey, is everything all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got a worn out front right tire, but Dad told me he made it home safe with the car, even though it was kind of jittery, but still, he made it home safe." And then I was like, "Everything's all right with you?" And she's like, "Yeah, but she's like, oh, your aunt wanted me to tell you that your uncle died." And I remember at that moment, I just went completely silent. I'm like, what? Like what? And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to say. I was just in complete shock. And then she told me, like, try not to get upset. Like, just focus on doing your job. When we come home, we'll talk about it. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine. I'll just do my break. I'll do my shift, and then I'll come home. And she's like, okay, make sure you drive home safely. I'm like, okay. And I was like, love you. She says, love you. We hang up, and then I am at the subway stand, like next to, in the break room, like a break cafeteria where everybody is, where we go to do our breaks and stuff. And I was like, what? I could not comprehend that's what happened. Because the last time I saw him was October 3rd, 2023. Was my other uncle's birthday. And I was like, okay, what do I do now? I mean, there's really nothing I could have done, but how I reacted to it was very crucial. But the only time I ever really confronted loss with the family was with my grandfather from my mom's side of the family. I was way too young to even comprehend what what it was. I remember the funeral actually, but I didn't necessarily understand or comprehend what death was at that time. All I remember my mom saying was, "We'll never see grandpa again." And I was like, that's sad. But as an adult now, I I understand death. Now I understand that the grieving process is such a long thing to go through. And I was torn up about it. And I know everybody at work, I tried my best to keep it together at work, but um I just couldn't. I remember it was such a rainy day outside, which is exactly how I was feeling. I remember I had my poncho on, just standing outside at the Brown Derby Lounge, and I'm just standing there, and I'm so like dead faced, like I'm just trying to comprehend what was happening. And my coordinator, who saw, she was like, "Hey, you don't have to be out here," and I was like, "Okay." And she knew something wrong. She was like, "Hey, Austin, are you okay?" And then I was just, and I kid you not. When someone asks me, like, if I'm on the verge of tears, do not ask me if I'm okay, or are you okay, or is everything all, like, do not ask me that, because I will break down in front of you. And I did not want to see anybody. I didn't want anybody to see me cry at that time. So I made a hand motion to say I wasn't okay, and I just walked off to backstage, and I just put my head down, and the tears were seeping out of my eyes, and I just couldn't deal with it. And I put my poncho away, and then I ran as fast as I could to the kitchen area, and luckily nobody was there. I just had time to, you know, give time to myself. And I think it was around 4 o'clock at that time, and I was like really just bawling. And my coordinator caught up with me, and she saw that she was like, "Hey, there you are." And then I looked at her, like, she saw the tears on my face. She's like, "What happened?" And I was like, "Oh, I got the news that my uncle passed." And she understood, and everybody understood. And she asked him, I remember she asked if I need him, and I was like, "Oh," I said I'm fine. Um she was like, "Would you like to ask the your leader to clock out?" I'm like, I mean, I think was it an early shift? I think it was. Cuz I remember I was like, it's close to my it's close to the time I need to clock out. So I said, I'll just wait until that. I'll just barrel through the rest of the time, because it's close for me to clock out anyway. I can do one more hour. And she was like, "Okay." But once I went back on stage to the main restaurant area, I couldn't keep it together. Everybody knew something was wrong. I'm telling you, I tried so hard to keep it together. And I heard my leader was giving out ERs, and I was like, I'll take one. Because in reality, I really couldn't work while I had the heartbreaking news come out to me. And I got the ER. I left early. I told my dad, "Hey, I'm leaving early." And I was like, I'm coming home early. I told my mom I was coming home early. I said I'll drive home safe. I'll drive home safe as safely as I can, and I did. And I remember it was like close to nighttime because I know at around 5:30, like the daylight savings time and ended, so it gets darker at an earlier time. Like at around 5:30, it's already like sunset. So I got home. It was like about 6 o'clock, and I think my mom was gonna come home at about 8 or something. So I I went home and I I saw my dad, and he was like, "Hey, you heard the news?" And I'm like, "Yep." And it was such a bizarre feeling to really feel that, to know that a loved one that you've spent so much time with since you were little just not be here anymore. It's really bizarre. And I couldn't keep it together anymore. I just could not for the life of me. Um I couldn't keep it together. And I remember we still had like work to do at around the house, and I was just trying to hold myself together to get through it. And the on December 22nd, I think that was the wake. And I think before that, before I even went, I wanted to go to work to tell everybody, like, or at least my leaders, that I was trying to take those days off, and I would be able to work Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And so if anybody could do anything about it, like if they could switch those days. And I remember they tried their best they could. And I just want to say, like, right now, like, I love everybody that I work with. I adore everybody that I work with. They are the best team that I could possibly ever ask for. I could not ask for a better team. Not even for like work wise, but just like support wise. Like, if there's any personal thing going on, like, they're super supportive of it. And I could not be more thankful of them that they gave me the opportunity to do so. And for that, I'm forever indebted to them. Like, I could never repay, unless it's like for work and stuff. Like, I could never repay that amount of, you know, that gratitude that I have for them, you know. Um it's just weird. Not even weird. It's just right now I feel completely fine. And the only reason why I feel fine is because, as far as like my uncle's death, I don't have a single bad memory with him. And that's one of the best things I could ever possibly ask for out of anybody. There's no there like I don't remember arguing with him. I don't remember like fighting with him or anything. Like, we always made each other laugh. I made him laugh, he made me laugh. And not even me, like, he made everybody laugh. Like, even though he had like corny jokes and stuff, and we loved him for that. And and he was just very kind, loving, giving, strong, special. I remember at the wake, the host or the Undertaker was there, or I'll just say host. I just remember him asking like, "What word do you describe the relationship you had with this with my uncle?" And I said the word special. And I think that's the best word to describe what he meant to us. And that word is special. He was a very special kind of man that was so optimistic and so, and like I never seen him like not smile, you know? Like he got along with mostly everybody. If there was like a party or like a get together going on, he was the life. He was the life of that party. I remember when like during Thanksgiving time, if we like put some music on, no matter what music it is, like whether it's hip hop or Spanish music or rock or classic rock, like in like the 50s and 60s, like Elvis Presley, like what he likes, Beach Boys, Beatles. He would always do like a conga dance, like a suave ballroom dance kind of dance, and it was his go-to dance that that made all of us just die with laughter. I'm grateful that we have many pictures of him, and I remember a few months after he died, I remember my other aunt, MC Benz, who you guys know in my cooking videos. I remember she sent a video of back in like 2018 where I had long hair and we were at the house and they were playing, I think it was the 4th of July. Like we were celebrating his birthday. And he was there and he was like laughing and smiling with my older aunt, and we were just having a great time, and I just started crying because it was like those small moments aren't really that small when you think about it. And I take pictures a lot and I take videos a lot. And a lot of older adults like the baby boomers and Gen Xers will always say like, why are you always on your phone? Why are you taking pictures? Why are you taking videos and stuff like that? Why do you always got to do that? Why can't you be present and live in the moment? And to that, I understand that sentiment because we're always glued to our phones and stuff. And there goes my cat. There goes Sparkle. But anyways, I understand that sentiment because we're always glued to our phones and we're always glued to our screens and stuff, and we don't get to experience the world around us. But my counterpoint with that is we have the ability to capture memories anytime now. Like if we didn't have any phones, let's say, like if we still had to bring our cameras everywhere we went, like especially back then, we would have to take the picture. We don't know what it looks like. We have to get it to a store to get it developed. And it would be like even a couple weeks after that until you got the pictures back to even see what it looked like. And you were lucky if it came out clear. Now we have like instant photo taking where we can see right then and there what our photo looks like. And if we mess up, we can just take another one, you know? But there are other counterpoints saying that, you know, it's not special enough. But in my personal opinion, I would like to use my phone as a regular camera or like a video camera to catch video or to catch pictures and stuff like that. Because one day, if the picture of a person or the video of a person, one day eventually, it'll be all you have left of them. Eventually. So one day you might not even get to have that experience again. Let's say you go to a concert that you really, really wanted to go to and you've been waiting all your life for that. I would either want to lose my concert virginity to either Metallica or Wu-Tang Clan. Okay, one of the two. Whichever happens first, I welcome it. I will take as many pictures and as many videos as I want. I don't care if people say that I'm not living in the moment, but I am. But catching videos and stuff like that and pictures of me being happy at that particular moment, I want to cherish that. I want to be able to look back and say, that time I was truly happy. That time I remember I was living the time of my life and I got video. I want to relive it over and over and over again. Because I might not ever get the chance to experience it ever again. So if I catch it, I'll be able to relive it and say, yes, I did that. I was there. Nobody else can take that away from me. And the same goes for people. For instance, my uncle, who I just talked about that passed away back in December of 2023. I'm glad we have many pictures of him. I'm glad we have many videos of him. And I'm glad that we have urns that we keep his remains in. So that way he will always be a part of us. No matter what. Those pictures and those videos are all that we have left of him now. To remind me and to remind everybody else what kind of person he was. And I will never, ever forget him for as long as I live. I understand that life is short. Life is completely short. And we won't ever get the chance to do certain things. But if you do, if you ever do get once in a lifetime chances to do whatever you want to do, to go wherever you want to go, to talk to whoever you want to talk to, just take the chance. Because you never know where it will end up. Otherwise, if you miss that shot, you're going to spend the rest of your life wondering, what if it could have worked? What could have been, instead of you knew what would happen and it didn't work out. So it was going to happen anyway. I want you to cherish, and this is a message for everybody, cherish your loved ones. For the 4th of July this week, for everybody that's celebrating, celebrate not only the birth of America, but also with family. The fact that you get to be in a country where there's multiple opportunities around you, where you can do whatever you want, where you can, well, I shouldn't say that. You have the possibility to be whoever you want to be, to go wherever you want to go. This is called the land of the free for a reason. And I know there's going to be many political people and many others that'll say otherwise, that we're not free, that our freedom is being, our freedom is being taken away or whatever. I'm talking about with family. I'm talking about something much closer and much deeper than that. You can argue politics with somebody else, but not on this channel. I want to talk about cherishing your life, your moment. I want you to cherish your friends, your family, your loved ones. Because to me, that's what Independence Day is all about. To celebrate a country, to celebrate the country that I live in, July 4th, the United States of America, where I am proud to say I'm an American. We have flaws. I get it. We have multiple flaws. But who doesn't? None of us are perfect. Every single person has flaws. I'm not going to say we're a perfect country. There's lots of work to be done. I know that. There's so much work that needs to be done in order to make this country as good as we want it to be. But then again, it starts with you. It starts with you, and it starts with me as well. It starts with all of us. What can we do? Remember what John F. Kennedy said to us? He told us, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. And to everybody else around the world, ask not what America can do for you, but what together we can do to ensure the freedom of man. What can we do as people if we just all got together and united for once, despite our creed, despite our religion, despite our political beliefs, our religious beliefs, our creeds, our race, or whatever else we believe in. If we put all of that aside for one common goal, for one common cause, just imagine what we can do. If we just set aside all of that, if we banded together and unite as one nation under God with liberty and justice for all. We can move mountains if we wanted to. The human spirit, I personally believe, has no limit, just like the sky. We have the possibility to achieve anything we wanted to. We went to outer space. And I'm not just talking about America. I'm talking about everybody in the world, every country in the entire world. We went to the moon. We went to outer space. We made humongous cities that people can live in. We made houses. We made technology to better our lives, to make lives easier. Especially in the 1900s, from 1900 to 1999, how fast we accelerated in technology and as the human race, it is unbelievably scary. Because you can see from 1700 to 1799 it changed. From 1800 to 1899 things changed. But from 1900 all the way to 1999, probably the scariest amount of progress we've made in that time. Folks, I want to just I just want to I want you to like just cherish your loved ones. For this 4th of July, cherish your loved ones, cherish your friends, your family, your significant others, your pets, the house you live in, the food you eat, the clothes you wear. And for the fact that if you can see, if you can hear, if you can smell, if you can taste, if you can touch, if you have every single one of your senses, if you're alive and well, despite if you're in pain or not, despite whatever you're going through right now, be grateful. Have gratitude. Because I won't ever think it can't happen to me. If it can happen to someone else that's doing good, it can most certainly happen to me at any time. So that's my message to y'all. This episode was a lot deeper than I meant it to be, just because I was thinking about my uncle and his birthday's coming up, and I think it's July 3rd, but we usually celebrate it on the 4th. So we just say his birthday's July 4th. And that made me feel very oddly patriotic for a little bit, because July 4th, I live in America already, and I love the country for what it has become and the progress we still have yet to make. That we can do better. You know? There's a lot of things going on right now that I can't even cover. But what we've done as a nation to bring everybody together to to make it to where it is now, a lot of us has done a lot of hard work for entertainment, for the industries, like for movies, for films, for gaming, for the workplace, to live, for vacations. It's just, I know there's some work left to be done. That's all I'm saying. But just take that with you when you celebrate the 4th this coming week. And I will probably leave it on that, because I want to make this a shorter episode. As of recording this, my aunt, MC Benz, who you guys know on the cooking videos, is going to come pick me up so we can go to the gym, we can work out, we'll sweat, we'll put some work in, we'll grind, we'll put the work in, and we're going to see what happens from there. So, I want to thank y'all for listening to the Eazy-Austin show. Hopefully you got some good value out of this. Hopefully I put out as good of a message I can possibly put out there. So, please, do yourselves a favor. Enjoy yourselves. Just enjoy the life that you have, because it could all be taken away from you. And with that, I leave you all to enjoy the 4th of July if you're in America. And if you're not living in America, if you're somewhere else like Canada, if you're somewhere else like any other country, just cherish your same loved ones, your family, your friends, everybody. Because you don't know when it'll be the last time you'll see them. And with that, this is Eazy-Austin signing off.